you
Yeah,
again.
you
Yeah.
too.
So lovely.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh, how are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine. The
Okay.
weather here better. I
Okay.
mean less hot.
That's hot. Nice. Yeah,
Fresh.
it's
It's
getting that time. Uh-huh.
uh,
It's getting to that time of year, right? Where it's
yeah,
cooling.
yes, yes.
That's awesome.
So this is a conversation like any other one we had before.
Hmm.
It's just it's being recorded,
Right.
and what we do is just we co-create. We have the conversations from the heart, and when we start, I just will cut when we start, and then when we finishes, it finishes. you
Great.
know.
Yeah.
And
Sounds good.
you're a podcaster,
Hmm.
aren't you?
Hmm.
You know.
Yep.
So, what kind of a podcast do you do?
I have a podcast that is going to be focusing on my book. I
Uh-huh.
realized that
Oh,
writing my book has become more complicated than I need it to be. And
yes.
so I think that if I go through each chapter as a podcast episode, then it'll turn into something where I'm much more able to write the book, complete the book, and get it out.
Mm. Wow, yeah, because I'm asking you these questions because we have not talked about those things before, and I was curious.
Yeah.
And I think everyone will be it will be very nice for everyone to know what you do.
Oh, great.
So what you are creating now, and I know you create from the heart because I feel it, and I receive your newsletters.
No, great.
So I was just yes asking about your podcast. So
Mhm.
in the podcast, you haven't started it. You have a podcast, but now you will do this.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of transitioning. So I
Mm,
used to do a lot of interview type styled, having guests on where we would talk about what they're doing and everything along those lines, which has been great. And for me, it I was just at that point of needing to write this book, and then I just had to transition to just to help get this thing done. So,
but nice,
yeah.
nice the way you're going to do that. The approach is very nice and very interesting.
Hmm.
No, plus whoever is in the podcast also will be, and for the ones also listening, no, when you are creating that way, it will be very nice to see then the result, not the book.
Of course. Yes.
You
Yes, I
know,
agree.
so there's also a co-creation in all of this,
Hmm.
which is always I love that. It's always
Uh,
very nice, no, that you are being who you are and you are
mhm.
doing a podcast, you are with someone else or talking about that. And in reality, it's helping you, it's supporting you to create a book. But
Mhm.
that's co-creation.
Ah,
Huh?
yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
Yes, yes,
exactly it.
yes. It's amazing. I like that.
Thanks.
I like.
Thanks.
Can I ask you what is the book about, or we have to wait?
No, I mean you can ask. So I have seen there was someone that I was really fond of that I saw go through something very difficult in life, and it
Mhm.
really cost them. And it was something that wasn't easy for them to go through. And what I had realized throughout the process of this is that my observation is that the thing that they actually were struggling with, and this is just my viewpoint, the
Yeah.
thing that they actually needed the help on was knowing how to connect with people and how to have conversations with others.
Mm,
Because I
mhm,
think that if the viewpoint of this person's life could have been a little bit different, then they would be in a very different place. And
mhm,
so the goal is in a way to help others and also try to prevent things like that from happening, because I think life can be very fulfilling and enjoyable. And if people just know these few things, then it
mm,
can really be a big difference that can help someone in the long term.
mm. Oh, nice, nice. I
Yeah.
love that. No, I love because actually when I'm co-creating these conversations,
Uh-huh.
my guests usually are well, for now everyone is there are people that are co-creators at the end, but
Hmm.
people that are serving others,
Hmm.
no, because um, I believe we're here now to serve others through our uniqueness,
Hmm.
through who we are, which is love, uniqueness, and then the co-creation. So, so it's nice to hear that your book has to do with supporting others, no, with your
Hmm.
experience, because you had, I guess, you're putting on paper what you have
Hmm.
experienced yourself.
Yes, yeah. Everything that I have been learning about to put in this book, I learned from another source of information, and then I have
Mm-hmm.
been applying it sometimes up to 10 years, sometimes up to 2 years. And it's not just like a random like, oh, I think this is a good idea. It's more along the lines of I've had to figure out if this is a workable thought process to use in my day-to-day life. Like if you want me to tell you one about one of them, it's saying I versus you statements. So
Mm-hmm.
like an I statement, and this is usually revolved around like what could be and turn into an argument. Like, I don't think you're doing a very good job. This could have been done way better. I can't believe this is happening this way. I. But
Yes.
if you change it, or it's kind of like that's like a you. That's like you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
good. I
Pointing,
don't
no?
like what that person's doing. Yeah, it's pointing the finger, it's blaming. But the funny thing about blaming and the you statements is there's one finger pointed to the other person, and there's three pointing back
Mm-hmm. Yes.
on the self of the person.
Yes.
And so when you approach the situation and you're saying, okay, how can I make this better? How can I help orchestrate this so it's a little bit different? Because you're approaching it more from this viewpoint of, okay, I want to assist, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something that can't be 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has a lot more of a grounded mindset as
Yeah.
well, because it's not like you're putting yourself above the other person anymore.
Mm.
You're trying to say, okay, I'm on the same page with them, and we're trying to work together, versus they're doing it wrong and I'm obviously doing everything correctly.
No, it's never like that.
Uh-huh.
But yes, 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 yes. And those I was thinking also, no, and because everything has to do with perceptions, no, and then the
Yeah.
point of views they're giving, like
Yeah.
this, no, they're giving the point of view of over there, but through what you're thinking and seeing, no.
Mhm.
So many times it's also to say, okay, I'm seeing, no, I believe, but giving the other one the opportunity to say, no, I did it because of this, no. So to
Mhm.
understand the point of view,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Yeah,
then
both people are much more on the same side of.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
and like and the we statement, no. Also,
Yeah, we is also fine. Yeah. Yeah, I
we
agree.
are in the no, as it's the supporting each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice. Eh? I love that. I love that because um, the for me, one of the most important things in life is communication, because communication comes from relationships, and relationships is what really grows us. No, and we came here to grow ourselves. From my point of view, we came here to grow ourselves, and we can grow certain way and something by ourselves. But relationships are the ones that show us, are the ones that mirror us and show us so many things, that angles and about ourselves that we wouldn't be able to see by ourselves. No?
Interesting. Could you say that again? I want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, that yeah, relationships are showing us certain things that we are not able to see by ourselves, no? Because when I'm talking to you, I might have a point of view. Number one, when I'm talking, I'm listening to myself. So I'm already realizing if I'm okay with what I'm saying or not. Okay. Because I'm in relationship with you, and I'm talking and I'm listening. You, in addition, can give me another feedback. You can tell me, Jeannette, I don't see it like this. It should be, I see it like this. I respect your point of view, but I see it like this because of this. And I can say, okay, I didn't see that. Yeah. I didn't see that. I was just looking at this little part. And then already I grew. I knew something more. No, I know something and I discovered something more. And in addition, you can tell me, Jeannette, yes, but I don't know about me, whatever. And I say, yes, okay, that one I also didn't see. So relationship grow us. And to be in relationship, there must be a communication. So communications are key for everything we do. Yeah. Because we are here to be in relationships. So many times, a book like this is many times very useful because it shows you what you're not doing, what you haven't seen also, and the way you've been acting or being that might affect others and you haven't seen.
Yes, completely.
So it helps you in the communication, but not, well, all levels of communications. No?
Yeah.
Which is so it's important.
Yeah, and it's nice too, right? Because you kind of, without needing to go through years and years and years of figuring it out, it's kind of like a shortcut to, oh yeah, this makes sense. I'm going to start applying this. I don't need to look any further. This is what I'm going to do with this situation when it happens.
Yeah, yes, and it clicked on me, and then it happens the same as you said before. Okay, you learn certain things. You're writing a book because you have experience, but you have experienced it all, and you're applying how you see it yourself, how it has worked for you. So the books always help us to click, but for us to then experience and see, okay, true, and it's supporting me in something, yes, like you were saying, would have taken me much longer to understand.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Happy
cool.
for you. Yeah.
So speaking of co-creation, did you get the letter? You got the letter?
Yes, I told you, I'm very happy. Very nice. Very nice. And it's beautiful because it's a gift. No?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, you have it in you see it one day in the mailbox. You see, and it's all handwritten. Yeah. And those are beautiful gifts. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then coming from the other side of the world. Well, not the other side, but from far away.
Yeah, it's true, right?
It's not in Europe or so, but yeah.
Yeah. We're not like next door to
No,
each other or
yeah,
anything along those
yeah.
lines. Yeah.
That's a nice. It's a very nice acknowledgement of I have met you.
Hmm.
I have known you. You know, it's very nice. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Uh, so, how have you come to be where you are today, or who you are today, or with what you do today?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is not being content or stuck on where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is related to a growth mindset. And instead of having the viewpoint of saying, I am trying to reach an end destination, like, oh, if
Mm-hmm.
I just get to this point, then I'm satisfied. If I just reach this point, then I'll be fine. I'm never in that thought process. I'm always in the viewpoint of like, okay, what's the next thing? And it's been great because I feel like I'm actually already doing well in life. Like, I'm not on drugs, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I purchased my first house, I have a car, like I have a stable job. Like my life is actually like really good. That's how I feel about it. And I'm talking with some of these friends that I've made throughout the months and years, and I'm like, he owns a business and he owns a business and he owns a business. So now I'm transitioning again to say, okay, I have these things are going well. I want to now reach into the viewpoint of running a business and just creating more sources of income and just living a more and more stable life, because that's something that I always have personally struggled with
Mm-hmm.
growing up, was just feeling like I had stability and security. And so it's like a constant remedy for that. Plus, I also like the expansion and pushing myself to a next
Mm-hmm.
level. And I have some great friends to help out. So it makes it really enjoyable.
Yes, yes, lovely. Yeah, it nurtures us, no? It
Say it again.
nurtures you. It nurtures you. It nurtures us when we are able to well help others and also
Hmm.
to continue growing.
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
I love the going to the edge. I always say if something, if you are in fear of something, or if something is causing you fear or nervousness, and it's because you're going to the edge. But
Mm,
once you do it, it's so beautiful because you have done it, and the edge has moved.
yes.
No? And so you're
Yes.
growing. And plus, you always realize that what you were thinking it was going to happen, and that's why you were nervous, did
Mhm.
not happen the same way.
Right.
No? So it's always nice to know you're in the edge, know there you're looking down and you see something that then
Ah,
you take the step, and it's not even what it was. It was
mm,
smaller and different, and it really you saw that the edge wasn't there. The edge is further away.
oh wow. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You know?
I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's also nice too, because yeah, what you're talking about in my viewpoint is it's like you're approaching it gradually in a way. It's not like jumping off the cliff. It's you're just getting right there and then kind of being there and then going a little bit further.
And knowing you're safe, that it's okay. You're learning just, no, you're just learning
Yeah.
every time you take a step.
Hmm.
Mhm. And and another thing you were saying, which I love, and it's how I live now. It's living in the now at the end. It's
Mm,
really not living for to get to a certain point It's not, the aim is not to get there. There's an intention. I think if there's an intention or there's a vision, okay? There's a vision, but you don't know how to get to the vision unless you every day you walk your day and you choose, but not because you have a goal to go there. It's just because you envision something and you would love to go there, but in the day you select based on your vision. So your choices depend on this intention, on this vision. The how to get there is always seen when you are there looking back. Because if we define the how beforehand, we're limiting ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Because our mind is not so, we cannot know all the possibilities we have.
Right.
No? So the beauty of the living in the now, the beauty of not knowing, no? Just having a vision of what you would love, but trusting in the day-to-day that it will come the way it has to come.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's what you have described it before. In the way you have described it, it's like that. It's okay. Yes. No. It's I'm here. I'm doing, and I'm being, and I'm enjoying the growth. And there's an intention, the business, and it will come. No, the way I'm choosing with everything I'm doing now, and getting there to this vision.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what you said.
Say it again.
That's what you said. I
Oh,
was just. That's why I loved it. I love that. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes, it's always beautiful to share with you sometime, because you are you're very much in your heart, and a beautiful being. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I like what you're saying as well, just with like that viewpoint of it, because I wasn't really like thinking of it in that way. But yeah, you're right. It's not really trying to like, not necessarily plan it out like piece by piece by piece by piece. I don't have all the details to it, but I just know that like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have this meeting with my friend and we're gonna talk about A, B, and C. And that's all that like really I have attention on. It's not.
You're placing the focus. It's your focus is in something.
Yes.
To grow your vision, to make it happen.
Yes.
But there are certain steps, you follow for that.
Yes, there is. And I think an important part about doing that is clarifying the when it's going to happen and where it's going to happen. So like we just said, I don't have everything figured out exactly the way I need it to be, but I do know when I'm going to meet with this person and where I'm going to meet with them. And if I have those two things down consistently, then that takes out 90, in my viewpoint, like 90% of the work, because a lot of the time what happens is like, I know what I ran into for a while is like, I would always kind of say, I want to work out more, I want to be more productive, or I want to get this project done. Like I've had that with my podcast, and that's like why I got stuck with like so many past episodes not getting completed. But as soon as I started to clarify, okay, I'm going to work on this episode on this time and day. I'm going to work on this at this time and day. And by doing that, you create an exact time and place that you're going to work on something. And there was this really cool study that was done that kind of relates to this. And I think it was 3 different groups of college students. And the first group, they were given a motivational speech, a presentation on working out, the benefits of heart health, and they had that group. And then the second group, they gave the same presentation, but then they had them say when they were going to work out
Like
and
a
what day they
commitment.
were going to work out. Yeah.
Mm.
And they did this study, and I'm like, I'm paraphrasing it horribly, so please forgive me.
Don't worry, we're here.
And when they came back to do this, the people who had received the presentation, who only received the presentation, they noticed that there wasn't much of a change. Like maybe one person made a difference, you know, but that like I can't even guarantee that. But the people who came up with the plan, the specific plan, 2 to 3 times as many people made an action on that. They actually did something. So if you can only, if for the life of someone, just put in the time and date and like where you're going to do it, then you'll be able to get something done. Then you'll be able to put it there, because most times we're not lacking motivation. We want to do it, but you can remove the decision-making process out of it by clarifying when, where, and how. And then you can execute on this goal that you want. It's no longer this fictitious or imaginative idea.
So you're putting action on a vision, and you're in the commitment, I would say, because you're not putting steps. You're just putting one step because it's a when and at a certain point in time, and you say, okay, I'll go there. What happens after I go there, I will see. Maybe I put another step or milestone to go there. No, but at least it's acting upon a vision. That then, whenever you act and on that time, you act and you see a result because you are experiencing. And as you are experiencing at that moment in time, you are having the choice to put another milestone or not, or a different one. Then that's why then if you would put now many milestones. That's why I say the how, for me, the how, because if I put many milestones, I'm just defining the how now until the end. And what I love about this is that I'm putting a stone. So it's a commitment, because everything, if we want to grow and if we want to take action, there's a willingness, an effort, a willingness. So, and a commitment for ourselves. So that's a commitment. Then when I'm on it, I will have experienced. Also the gym, I would have experienced that the workout was very good for me. I felt it. And then I will choose again what to do with that. And as I have experienced something, I will choose based on that experience. No? And that experience is different, and that moment my being, my Jeannette, will be different and then where I am today. So I cannot think now of where I'm going to go or with all the steps, because I haven't even experienced the first step. You know, that's why the how for me comes as you walk.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying a little more now.
Yeah,
I like that.
No. I say it because of experience, because I had a social enterprise. I had a social enterprise, and I always was told you have to define the how, so the business plan, the how, and it was something innovative, and I wasn't able to set a how because it was in what I was thinking in my mind. And I did many business plans, and the business plans were changing as I was acting, no? So in reality, and also when you are creating from who you are, not from the mind, but from who you are, through who you are, serving others, it will change what you envision, because you're experiencing it, and you are experiencing what others experience, which you wouldn't know before, and you are getting nurtured through that. So you continue adapting and adjusting what you thought initially. No?
Wow. And so wait, when you're saying nurturing, like, can you tell me more about that?
Nurturing is because the experiences nurture me. And if I'm giving of myself by serving others, they will have an experience which hopefully it's positive, and since it's positive, it's nurturing me through what I gave. Now I'm receiving.
Oh, okay. So like it has long-term rewards or benefits.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Cool.
it's
I like that.
but it's yeah. And that's why I say the how always comes from the looking back. If you are creating through who you are, if you are creating what you love, because it won't be from the mind, and it won't be fixed. You can and you cannot know it now, because it's like you were saying, and it's you're living now and with in the moment, let's say, no, with the vision. So I'm living in the moment, and there I decide every moment, no. So I don't know the how.
Right.
Oh, well.
Wow. Uh-huh.
No, and because I created so many house, and none of them worked from my mind, and they were totally different, I gave up. I said, I'm not a social entrepreneur. I cannot create a how, because the how changes.
Oh,
The how
wow.
comes afterwards.
Okay.
Once I have my business, once I decide, and it will stay, the websites and everything will continue changing, because as we grow, we will continue seeing things differently and giving more,
Yeah, of course.
So, yes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, because that's how it works, right? It just, as time evolves with it, you'll see, and I think that's like the process of learning too, right? Like, oh, you just show up and do the thing so many times, and then by the end of the fifth time, you're like, oh, these 5 things would actually be really helpful, when you would never have had that idea previously the first time you did it.
Yes. Yes. And going back to what we were talking about, the edge, it's the same thing, no? You've been going to the edge, so you're seeing more.
Yes.
You've been walking one step, so every time you're seeing more of what you weren't able to see before.
Yeah. And I'm curious with your viewpoint for clarity, you're saying the edge is like the comfort level or like the boundary zone. Is that
The
right?
boundary zone.
Oops.
Yeah, I know that happens to me too. I hate it. And the good thing is you got the thing up. Sometimes I get the finger down, and I'm like,
all right. I know.
no, I don't want that. The edge is a boundary. Let's say the boundary I put to myself, the boundary of comfort, no? At the end, if I walk one more step, I open that, I expand that, I put the boundary further away, no? And I have expanded.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wow, that's cool. An expansion is, that's spot on.
So it's really a pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ian, you want to share something else, or how you feeling?
Yeah, I think there's one thing that I've really enjoyed in conversations, and one thing that I think can help other people as well is doing this thing called looping for understanding. And I've actually been doing it a little bit in this conversation, but it's like so tremendously helpful for gaining clarity and making sure that two people are on the same page. And the other thing it does is it actually really acknowledges the person to make sure that the communication was correctly understood. And once again, forgive me if I don't say this perfectly, but this was originally used with negotiation, where someone would say something and then it was like more with like arguments as well. And it was the person says what they think they heard back in their own words, and then they say, did I get that right? And by doing that, it creates a really good way to make sure that the communication is being correctly understood.
Yes.
And I love doing it because it really makes sure that I'm understanding the other person for what they are saying. And I also feel like I connect with that person just a little bit more, instead of, oh, did I get what they were saying, or was there some, and not having those certainties of what I think they said versus what they actually said can be the difference between a great conversation and an argument, in my viewpoint.
Yes. True. No, true. Because if there is miscommunication, then there are different views, and then there can be arguments. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it feels like you were saying, it feels like you are listening. I know, I feel that you're listening, but it reinforces that you are listening, that you are there. That they are focused, and that you are attentive.
Yeah, active listening.
Yes.
Versus passive listening. I don't like, I used to do passive listening in conversations, and I really didn't enjoy it, because all I'm doing is just receiving what they're saying and receiving what they're saying. And after a while, it just gets boring, because you're like, I want to participate in this conversation, but it's almost like doing this looping for understanding thing is like, it's a really nice way to participate in the conversation, because one, I am paying attention. Two, I get to hear this person completely, and three, I also get to make sure I'm listening to them correctly, because it gives the other person the opportunity to say, no, that's not what I meant at all. And then it's like, oh, what was it that you were saying?
Yes. It's alignment.
Yeah.
No? It's alignment.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's what we said before, no, communication, relationship, to avoid, like you were saying, to avoid any argument. So it's really well, I also, what I like it again, that's co-creation, and again, because co-creation is everywhere. So co-creation in this is that you are not only receiving, but you're also giving. No, because co-creation is harmonious giving and receiving. It's not just the giving or just the receiving. It's really the dancing of the giving and the receiving.
Yeah.
So with that, you are reinstating this dance, and that's why it's a beautiful conversation. It turns out well, nurturing, like we said before. So it's appreciated.
That's awesome. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I'm glad we talked, and I'm glad we shared about this.
Yes. Now about you. I love to know more about you, and about what you're creating, and about your vision, and about who you are, which is always lovely, no? And through the heart. So I appreciate that, and I'm very grateful for your openness, and for being here.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be here.